Friends and patriots, I'm so proud to be back with my great friend, the inimitable, the ineffable Colin Plume from Noble Gold Investments. Colin, welcome back, my friend.
Thank you for having me. I know it's a lot of wild things happening out there in the world. And
really?
I mean, war. We're at war. We're funding wars. There's college students that have lost their minds out there that think that they should align themselves with Osama bin Laden. I don't know if you've seen those reports.
Oh, yes. Rediscovered him, by the way, in a piece from 2006, and thought, hey, I don't dare bring up Mein Kampf to these lunatics. God knows what they'll do with that. But yeah. Colin, let's talk about this. Noble Gold Investments first. What is Noble Gold Investments for the untrained?
Yeah, so we're a family business first, even though we're a pretty large business at this point. We have 45 employees here in the U.S. We are a company that helps people get educated and learns about physical investments, tangible investments. And, these are investments you can buy and hold in your IRA. So a lot of people are not happy with the returns in their IRA for the last few years because the stock market's been a little turbulent, I would say. People that are looking for an alternative investment, they can buy these physical items. This is real gold and silver. A lot of people don't even realize you can own gold and silver in this country. So we help them learn about these items, buy them. We can store them in a independent vault for them if they want under their name, or we can ship it to them. So we're really we're one of the kind of an old school kind of business, right? I mean, it's, every town's got a coin shop that people go to. And I always tell people that it's so interesting because a lot of stores are struggling. A lot of retail stores are struggling, but every town's got a coin shop. They're still open. They've been around for 20 years. It says buy gold. They buy, gold and silver in there, and they're still in business. They're still going because these are items that you can build a business around. These are items that go up over time. So when they buy gold from you, you buy your gold chain, your 14 karat gold chain. They melt it down and they either, keep that gold or they ship it off and they make a profit. But it's a business that's built on the fact that the dollar and our currency is devaluing day by day by day. And yes, the dollar's been very strong temporarily over the last year with higher interest rates. But now interest rates the Fed said they're pausing. Looks like they could potentially even lower rates a little bit next year. And if you go back and watch videos of me a year ago, I've said it many times that I believe that they're going to lower interest rates to try to keep the president in, because they'll open up the economy a little bit, even whether they should or shouldn't. I think they're going to. And so I think they're going to open things up next year and rates will come down a little bit. And that'll be really good for a lot of the tangible investments like gold and silver. Those things typically, when you open up the money supply, precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, palladium do very well in that scenario. So it's a very simple business that we do, but it's done in a very efficient manner because obviously, this is over $4,000 in gold, and we got to ship this to people's doorsteps. We do it in a nondescript package. We follow up with them. We make sure they get it there. And then if they ever need to sell it, they can always sell it back to us.
Now hold that up again. That's $4,000 right there.
It's over $4,000. Yeah, these two, this is the Philharmonic, and this is the Canadian Maple Leaf with the Queen on it. So this is a little bit older of a coin because obviously she's no longer, the Queen's no longer on the coinage there. So yeah, it's liquid wealth. And, that's really our business is helping.
I've got to tell you something. First of all, why is it? Explain to me, Colin, because this is your bread and butter. And let me just tell you something. Anybody who knows you, anybody who knows the business, anybody who knows you are blue chip, maybe it's the wrong term, the best referrals, best reviews, best customer service. I'm not just saying that it's true, and you know it's true because you work your ass off to make this company what it is today because you help people. And that's the beauty about what you're doing. But the thing that I want you to explain to me, and maybe you can help me, what is it that people don't understand about gold? Why is it associated with some kind of weird outdoorsman, some Nordic guy with an axe who
Yeah.
makes his own gruel? I don't understand. Preppers, and please help me with this. This is the first investment that has gold has never lost interest since the beginning of time. Why do people question it?
Well, because first of all, the people that you mentioned do buy gold and silver because those people understand the value of tangible investments, right? They understand, people that are preppers, people that they're getting prepared, so they're putting items away that they're going to need or they're going to use, and so it's a very methodical type of person. They're going to have all the tools and all the survival equipment that they need in the event that something happens. And it's not that far off. I mean, even people that live in big cities that have earthquakes, for instance, you'd have an earthquake prepared kit, right? And so that's one aspect. But people in other areas go farther because they may have a tornado or they may have a hurricane. So they have more elaborate. So they're gonna have water. They're gonna have all the different items that are necessary for them to survive. They're going to have tools. They're going to have everything at their disposal. And gold and silver is a great thing to have because if the dollar fell apart or we're out in the street and we're bartering again, these things will always have value. And it makes sense because if you look at this, this $100 bill, $100 10 years ago had some decent value, but right now the value relative to like 100 years, this has gone down, 90% in value, right? This $100 bill. You could actually buy a lot of stuff 80, 100 years ago with $100. So just to give this this is paper money, this is fiat money. Give it a little perspective. Let's just go and compare this to a 1 ounce gold piece that we used to use in circulation. So let's say we had a $20 gold piece, which we used up until 1933. So a $20 gold piece could buy a lot of things 100 years ago, but that same gold piece today, it can buy so much. A $20, $2,100, $2,200 coin can buy so much today. It's held up its value. So I think preppers and people that are fundamental to the land, right? They understand how to do things. They understand what could happen in the world. They don't trust things like this. They trust fundamental things. And that's why you see a lot of people that are in that genre of person that likes to have guns and protects themselves. They typically have gold and silver.
Well, it's funny we're saying this. No greater source than Wikipedia talks about the man who's been in the news, Sam Altman. And this particular line says, Altman is a prepper. They make it sound like this pejorative. He said in 2016, quote, I have guns, gold, potassium iodide, antibiotics, batteries, water, gas masks from the Israeli Defense Force, and a big patch of land in Big Sur I can fly to. Now, do you think this man's a nut? Do you think he's psychotic? Do you think he's mentally ill? I don't think so. And yet, the biggest producers, the biggest from the Hollywood elite, what did they talk about years ago? New Zealand getting red, having a boogie bag or whatever you want to call it. Everybody was talking about this and still is. So I don't know where this idea of prepper being crazy, maybe people don't want to recognize this, but we're not only talking about preppers, Colin Plum. We're talking about people who want a kind of a melange, if you will, of investment opportunities. Now, let me just say this. Let's say I want to start this. All right, I've heard this. This Colin sounds like a great guy. Okay. What do? I've got X amount. I don't know. I call up. In fact, you call up 877-646-5347. You tell them Lionel sent you. Or, more important, you go to LionelNationGold.com. Pretty snazzy. LionelNationGold.com. So what do they do?
First of all, I will say I like you called it a boogie bag. I think it's a bug out bag, but I like boogie bag the way
No.
I think it's more interesting.
I'm from the 70s. I'm into disco.
Boogie bag.
Boogie
No,
bag,
I love
boogie
that.
nights.
No, that's hilarious.
I'm a boogie bag.
It's really interesting, Lionel. So everybody thinks like all these tech, the OpenAI guys is like he's building tech, right? He's built one of the most powerful tech creations in a long time. And I saw, not to segue to, but I'm going to, I saw this funny skit. They were talking about how all the employees were going to walk out because they wanted him to stay CEO. And it's so interesting that they would defend a guy that's building a product that's actually trying to get rid of employees.
Well, let me just, and not to really go off, the existential threat to humankind is AGI, artificial general intelligence. Imagine, Colin, creating an 800-pound gorilla with a 300 IQ that can replicate itself, and you don't know whether it's evil, good, can write its own code, and you can't do a damn thing about it. So good luck. Now you know why Sam is taking his boogie bag and getting the hell up, because when the you-know-what hits the fan, he's going to be in the Big Sur with an M60 and gold. Anyway, enough of that.
I remember when Facebook IPO'd many years ago, we had a lot of calls. People were interested in buying gold. And these weren't small purchases. These were large. And then you saw a lot of this tech money talking about wanting to have a place in New Zealand, wanting to be able to get out. Because what's interesting is that they're building these products like Facebook or OpenAI. So they build it. The Overstock.com CEO also is a big gold and silver guy. He owns a ton of silver. So you have all these tech geniuses. Once they make their money, what do?
Right.
They go back to the basics. That's the interesting thing. But your average person isn't buying the basics. They're caught up in buying Nike shoes, Jordans, or fractional. My big, not to get too far into it, but my big concern with the 20 and 30-year-old person today is this fractionalization of everything. They only buy fractions of things. They buy fractions of real estate. They buy fractions of art. You can buy a fraction of a whiskey bottle. I don't know if you've seen this. They don't actually own anything. And what they don't realize is that these tech geniuses throw these millions of fees into these fractionalized products. That's what's happening. That's the next wave of how people are losing their money through investments. Unfortunately, when you buy fractions over time, so like Schwab, you can buy $5. You can put $5 down and buy an Apple stock that's worth $100 or $200, whatever Apple stock is. But they don't realize that if they add $5 a month, they're paying a nice chunk fee of that $5 every month. By the time they bought a full stock, they've paid thousands of dollars in fees.
Right.
They don't even realize it, in percentage and fees. That's the problem with today. But if you look at these tech guys who you would think would have no interest in any of this, and I remember specifically during the pandemic, the Overstock.com, the CEO said, if things hit the fan, he has enough silver to pay all of his employees in silver. So you look at these people that have hit the financial jackpot, I would say, right?
And they can do anything they want.
They're buying this stuff because they know they want to go back to basics, and also they also have the same belief that they don't want to lose. Which is the thing that Warren Buffett always talks about. And he has a lot of great quotes. But the thing is, rule number one is don't lose money. And rule number two, don't forget rule number one. Well, you're not going to lose money in these overtime in these items because inflation. So that's the big thing that people don't think about, is that you're protecting that downside with physical gold and silver. So to answer your question, Lionel, it is easier to buy it than people would think. And it's easier to liquidate than people think. That's the beauty behind gold and silver. And I think people that have the majority of their net worth in real estate today and need cash are realizing that, yes, everybody says like real estate's great, and over time it is. But over the last year and a half, I can tell you right now, there's nobody that wants to sell any good real estate. And if they're selling it in a bad position because it's not worth anywhere where it was 2 years ago. And if they need money, you need money. Whereas if you had a little gold and silver, maybe you sell that instead of selling some real estate right now because you don't want to take it.
Let me ask you a question. And by the way, if during the course of our conversation you see some mysterious thumb go up or thumb go down, I have no idea what it is. It's like some spirit, some elf has invaded this. All of a sudden, thumb. It's like I'm not giving you a thumbs up or down. It just popped up. So please, there's nothing.
Or something.
Here's my question: what's the difference between a gold person and a silver person?
I think that's a good question. I think that most of our clients now, the percentage is like probably 50-50 they buy gold to silver or maybe a little bit of silver. I think that it's hard to argue against the potential skyrocket potential of silver because of all the uses. There is a shortage. They do need it in, all the EV vehicles. They need it in electrical panels. They need it in data. What we're talking on all the computer instruments. So there's like a million ounce shortage of silver that's coming up next year. So it's hard to argue against where the price of that is going to go. But gold is so tried and true. And so it's just kind of personal. It's a really personal choice. Central banks hold a lot of gold. China, by the way, the Republic of China bank, their main bank, has been buying unprecedented amounts of gold this year, which is pretty fascinating.
How much gold is there? This is the stupidest question anybody's going to ask you. How much gold is there? Do they eventually say, no more gold?
Yeah, there's above ground, there's enough gold to fit in 2.5 size Olympic size swimming pools. So it's not that much. I mean, if you really think about it, that's a pretty small amount. And if the U.S. has the 8,044 tons that they say that they do, which no one's done a real audit, and people run from Ron Paul to Rand Paul to all the Pauls,
right,
who wanted it. We would have a big chunk of it. But yeah, it's really, if you think about it, it's not that much. And each year the supply, the mining supply goes up by 1%, 0.75%.
It's like Bitcoin kind of, there's a few. And let me also throw something in since I love doing tangents with you. By the way, that should be a show called Tangents. We start off here, we end up over here.
And all over here.
But one of the, but that's what life and thinking is. Sometimes it inspires something. Did you know when people ask the question, why is it that we ever went to Afghanistan? What the hell did Afghanistan have to do? That nothing to do with 9/11. Why did we go to Afghanistan? Do you know that according to a New York Times article, Afghanistan is the Saudi Arabia of lithium? Yes. There is more and tranches and veins of cobalt and gold. It just so happens that it's, of course, the hub and the epicenter of terrorism. The great Gerald Celente said, what would be the chance of our ever invading Iraq or Afghanistan if their main export was broccoli? Not a chance. Now, aside from that, take me through this. I pick up the phone. I've got X amount here. I don't know what you need, but I pick X amount, a nice chunk. I pick up, hello, 877-646-5347. Hello, Lionel sent me. Let me talk to Colin. Colin, I want to buy some gold. What do we do? Make it easy for me.
I mean, I think it depends where the money's coming. It's coming from an IRA or just cash. So we have to figure out where that's coming out. And then, we go through all the different options. How much gold do you want? How much silver? What percentage? What are you looking at? Do you want bars? Do you want coins? We go through all the pricing, and it's the nice thing about us is that we've streamlined it down to about 15 products in the gold and silver range.
Good.
There's thousands of products, right? Thousands of thousands. And there's Mickey Mouse coins and Superman coins. And
there's that thing.
You can name a coin that's out there. But at the end of the day, we focus on the bullion coins and bars, the ones that people are buying and selling every day, the ones that the central banks are buying, the one that institutions are buying. We don't mess around with strange coins. So we're going to go through all of them and bars. And then ultimately you're going to decide, what size bars and coins that you would want. And then we either do an IRA rollover and move the money over, or we do a wire and we ship it to you, or we ship it to a depository. We're shipping right now. Usually from date of purchase, we ship within 3 to 4 business days. So you should have the metal within a week or two at your doorstep. And that's it. You open it up, verify you got it, put it in your safe, and you got the one asset in the world that has no debt behind it, that you own by yourself, which is rare.
Have it. I like the way you're throwing the coins around. I know what
I
you're
did
doing.
not mean to throw that coin around. That was a
what
big
they do in
mistake.
Vegas. They do it in Vegas, with the noise. They throw it around. Kyle throws things. Here's $4,000. Means nothing to me. Means nothing. But let's say I say, look, I don't want to keep this around. I got crazy relatives. Somebody's going to come in. I'm going to ask you a tough question, but the question everybody's going to ask. Okay, I want you to keep it. How do I know where it is? Do I get to visit it? Does it write me a letter?
So we have depositories in outside of Dallas, Delaware, and Toronto. What we do when your metals arrive is we have them actually take a picture of the metals, of your metals. So the vault manager there they have 2 people verify the metals. They weigh it, authenticate it, and then the vault manager puts all your metals on a table. He takes a picture, he signs it, and we send you that picture. We're the only company in the whole country that offers that service, and we pay for it because I feel that you want to see what you bought.
Yeah.
So if you're storing it there, we do that. You also get monthly updates. You have an online access to check it. And then at any point, if you want to take possession, we can ship it to you. Now, if it's in the IRA, there's rules, right? Before 59.5, there are taxes. But that being said, right now it's RMD season, required mandatory distribution. A lot of people are starting to take some distributions. You could take some of that gold and silver as your distribution of your IRA. So you could get, let's say you want to do like a $4,000 distribution, you could take it in gold, or you could take it in silver. So it's up to you how you want it, but it's truly gold and silver you bought. It's insured by Lloyd's of London. It's segregated. It's all segregated storage. And then I do audits of the storage facility a few times a year. So I'll go there and I'll take a few hundred accounts with the receipts, and I'll say, pull out this account number. They'll pull the gold and silver out. I'll open up the packaging, and then I'll actually count the ounces of gold and silver. And then I always make a joke with the people in the vaults. I always tell them there's like 5 ounces more, and they don't like that joke. But that's what I do. Yeah. I say, oh man, it's only supposed to have 10 ounces of gold, but there's 15 ounces of. You guys overpacked this.
You are wacky. Wacky, I think it describes you. Now, without mentioning names of competitors, let's face it, you don't have any competitors, but let's just assume there's somebody out there even pretending to be anywhere near you in terms of stature and prestige. What are some of the things that you do that, frankly, other people don't? That makes
I think a lot of companies rush you into a decision with a strong salesperson. They're going to try to push you. Our staff doesn't do that. We don't want anyone to rush into any kind of decision. We want people to take their time, and we send you a lot of materials. We also tell you to check out our reviews. You'd be surprised. A lot of our big competitors, if you go to the BBB right now and you read their top 5 complaints, your jaw will hit the floor, because like getting charged 80% commissions, things like that. It's rampant.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Many of my competitors, and I won't mention names, I've seen 50%, I've seen 60%. And usually what it is they try to sell you one of these strange coins, and it's a weird size, or
Filipino Krugerrands.
Yeah, they try to create a coin that, they'll tell you it's like a battleship coin, and it's rare, and it's got this value, but it was made by the Royal Canadian Mint last year. Why is it rare? They made 100,000 of it, 200,000. Why is it rare? It's not rare. It's just that the salesman wants to make a big commission off you. So I think that's the big thing is reading the reviews. And if you read our reviews, you'll see people like doing business with us.
Absolutely.
We're transparent about what we do. And we also realize that, it's a long-term commitment. That's why we don't rush anyone into a decision too, because you're going to hold this goal for 5 or 10 years. I don't want, no one on my team wants to feel like we push you in a decision, or we give you information, you decide. And people are surprised a lot of times because we give the information and then the people, well, what's next? And it's like they're expecting the hard, car salesman. But we're not made up that way because we want to be in the business for a long time. And I think that's the difference, is that a lot of these companies hire people that aren't going to be around. And a lot of these companies aren't going to be around, frankly, because of their business practices. So I think you got to take your time. You got to check out the company, feel comfortable with the person you're talking to, and check them out, and go to the BBB and check out reviews and make sure that you do your due diligence, because there's a lot of stuff out there that people would be shocked about some of our major competitors.
Well, all you have to do is go to LionelNationGold.com. I like that, by the way. You can call 877-646-5347. 877-646-5347. Read the scroll. We'll have all the information. And by the way, we always have to say that there's the requirements is that there's no guarantee. Everybody knows this, but just to make sure, because you're very scrupulous about this. And this is merely presenting you with the opportunity to investigate it.
Correct.
And join let me ask you something. How popular, give us an idea of how big this is. Like how many people, because they make it sound like buying gold is this obscure habit that people only in the woods. Again, where this comes from, I have no idea. But this
we have people from all walks of life buying, from government employees to plumbers to a lot of hedge fund managers buy gold from us, stockbrokers, just teachers. I mean, you name it. It's, we're joking a bit about, your survivalist client, which obviously they buy too, but no, this is everywhere. And all over the country, California, New York, Texas. I mean, you name it. Every state they buy from.
What is the biggest bar I can buy right now? What if I wanted to buy the biggest?
100 kilo is the biggest. I mean, we don't sell a lot of those because it doesn't. It's hard to make change with 100 kilo gold bar.
Maybe for you,
but I would say, in gold, the like a 1 kilo gold bar is not uncommon, and it's it's about that. It's like the size of a remote control, and it's worth 62,000, 63,000. I have to check the numbers today, somewhere in that range. So we sell a lot of that. We sell a lot of bars. And
see, there's something about this. Those commercials. I think it was a Die Hard, or it was something. I don't know what it was, but whenever you see the bars stacked up on pallets, whenever you see it, there's something chemical that happens, something visceral. At least to me, I don't know why. I look at it, and it just it's you just can't believe it. There is something about holding it, and the first time I ever felt one, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's again, I don't want to scare people, but my own particular mental health, which is questionable as it is. But there is something. When was the last time you said, "Ooh, look"?
Well, yeah. So the biggest bar. So we sold a lot. So during the pandemic, there was a silver shortage. So I bought every 1,000-ounce silver bar on the whole market. I bought everything that I could.
We had a bit of a glitch there, but please continue. During the pandemic, sir.
So during the pandemic, there was a silver shortage, and because you just couldn't get anything anywhere, and the silver mines in Mexico were shut down. It was a really bad situation for about a year. So I bought every 1,000-ounce silver bar about 2 weeks before. Like pretty much, there was the Friday that everything shut down. The next week, for like maybe 3 weeks, I bought every 1,000-ounce silver bar that was available because the price of the coins skyrocketed. So like silver eagles and all the stuff that everybody loves, they were selling them at like $10, $11, $12 above the spot price of silver. We're talking like, 130% above the price of silver for a coin. So I bought all these 1,000-ounce silver bars. But you asked me, what's the heaviest thing? So those So I would get, people wanting to buy them. They'd want to get them to their doorstep. But a 1,000 ounce, and they're never 1,000 ounces. They're always a little below, a little above. So, it could be 950. So, but they weigh 70, 80 pounds. And so we'd have a lot of people that would want them at their doorstep. And I would just, and we had to tell them, like, and how many people can pick up a 75-pound silver bar? So we had one person who bought a 7-figure amount of these and was adamant about getting it delivered.
Wow. Which
I get, right? You want it. But I had to really have a heart to heart with this, almost 70-year-old person, and I said, listen, I don't know if you're working out with Schwarzenegger or if you're a bodybuilder or, I don't know what your fitness regimen is, but you probably don't want to have this drop off with a UPS guy at your doorstep. Right. So those are the big boys that we sell, and typically we store those because it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Can you imagine one of those episodes of the couch pirate or the porch pirates with this? Somebody runs up, tries to do a deadlift with about 800 pounds. So
so that's the biggest and great value for someone's looking to do a big purchase in those. So people were buying silver from us. Silver dropped down to $13.80, $13.90. They were buying these 1,000-ounce silver bars from us for like $16,000, $15,800. Within 6 months, those same bars were worth $32,000. Within 6 months during the pandemic. Now, and listen, past performance is not indicative of future results. But this did happen.
They're showing you.
It did happen, and you can look at the math. You can look at how quickly silver rose. So there are these unique bull run periods where it can just go nuclear in terms of price, and that's why when people are talking about the price of silver today at 24 and gold's at 2,000, we haven't seen it's been a steady run. Right. It hasn't been a crazy bull run,
and that's good.
You're right, 100%. Anytime you see these crazy bull runs in any type of investment, you have to be nervous. You have to be nervous about, maybe I got to take some profit off the table, and you should do that in any investment. But I will tell you, the gold and silver market has been quite unique in that usually during a time like this, when you see, the U.S. is involved in funding two wars, we would see metals just skyrocket and right now it hasn't taken off yet. Our costs on metals are still very low. So it's not like how it was during the pandemic. We're getting great pricing on items, which we're passing on to our clients. So it hasn't exploded yet, is what I'm saying.
Well, this is it. Colin Plume, Noble Gold Investments. And again, this is how appropriate. LionelNationGold.com. That's where they have to go. Correct? LionelNationGold.com.
You can call. Either way. They want to get to it faster. Just call. Say you heard us on Lionel's show. Someone's going to pick up. They're going to go, how'd you hear about it? You just say Lionel. And that's it. And also, if they do it this month, they get this coin. If they do an IRA, they get a 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin, which is great.
They get that?
That's it. Yeah.
My God, it looks like a discus, like an Olympic event.
Yeah, it's a weapon too. You don't want to do that. This is the free coin with an IRA. So yeah, it's the most my favorite U.S. minted coin, silver coin, modern day coin is this. The older coins we can talk for 4 hours, but modern day, this is the one that I always recommend. I love this coin.
Colin Plume from Noble Gold Investments. Noble Gold Investments. I'm saying, ask around. They have impeccable respect, their reputation, and that is not just balderdash or malarkey, as someone might say. It's the absolute truth. Colin Plume, good man, good friend, good businessman, good American, good entrepreneur. Thank you. Let us speak again, sir.
Thank you, Lionel. I appreciate it.
Thank you.